Well, good morning, YouTube. I've been wanting to do a stream of this airplane. This is the Coronado PA31T Cheyenne, which is of course, beautiful airplane. A little difficult to see in the dark. It's early morning here in Palm Beach, and I figured I'd start like this so we could take a look at the lighting, so I could show you the lighting. It's one of the things that people like to talk about. Um, Coronado puts out a lot of airplanes, and some of the airplanes can get lost in the mix. It starts to feel like, I've already got six Coronado, why not get seven or something like that? And then occasionally they put out something that's just that's got some nice stuff in it. Um, or it's just got something about it that's really nice. And that happened years ago. I think the last airplane they got a Gold Star award for that I know of from AvSim actually was the 337, um, the Cessna 337, which had a remarkable flight model. The graphics were pretty good. It had it was fairly well equipped. But the really thing that was the remarkable thing was the flight model, and that's where I think this airplane shines. Um, I've flown, I don't know how many hours. I could guess anywhere between maybe 750. It's all sim hours. I'm not a real turboprop pilot, but I'm a pilot, but not for turboprops. But in the sim, I've flown probably, I don't know, somewhere between 750 and maybe 1500 hours in turboprops. Most of it in the Real Air Turbine Duke, which was a great airplane. And one of the reasons why I actually switched to XPlane was because uh, Prepared was giving me problems with that airplane. I just didn't have any reason to stay there anymore. So anyway, so there's this one, which is obviously a turboprop. These monstrous engines um, hanging off of each wing. So let's take a look at the lighting. It's well done. So I can bring up the left and the right lighting. Actually, oh, I left that on. So let's shut that off. And you can see that. And so you can see it casts a light all over the place. So, if you got up this early, you'd probably turn that on first. And then there's this placard. And these lights up here. And then I suppose I'll need some avionics lighting too. I want this up a little higher. So yeah, that's not too bad. The airplane does have some issues, some things they didn't implement, but at the end of the day, um, I don't know how important it is, honestly. We talk about study level all the time, and then, in an airplane like this, in a small airplane, really it comes down to how does it handle. Um, does it feel like flying? And that's, uh, so all this stuff, getting the airplane ready, yeah, it's there are some oddities to this airplane. For example, these switches here, which um, are for engine run-ups. You do your engine run-ups with those, and it tells you if everything's okay. And you can do an engine run up without doing those, but I think there's actually three of them that you do before you take off with this airplane. If you were flying it in the real world, if you were a pilot that on that particular day wanted to do all three of them, I'm not sure the real world pilots do all three of them every time they go up, but you know, they should. So anyway, here's the checklist that I've created for it. Took somebody else's and started modifying it and added all of these speeds. So I've got them for reference. Rotation speed is 90 knots. Uh, and then the flap speeds, gear up, gear down speeds, which are different. And then various torque speeds, which I would probably put in notes um, in any checklist that I had if I was flying in the real world, what speed or what power to set to get a particular speed in different situations, like to get 180 knots, about 50 torque. 140 knots is 42 torque, and 42 torque is where this airplane lives when you're coming into an airport. Which I found fairly remarkable in terms of this flight model was that it flies right on the numbers. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and over again, I saw pilots flying 42 torque down final, and this plane just, if you set 42 right here on the torque, it's right on, uh, right on the airspeeds. Um, so I was pretty amazed by that. I think they really took care to get this thing right, at least in terms of the flight model, for sure. And honestly, the avionics work well. Uh, so when you're flying and you need your, this Garmin or the 750 um, to work right with the airplane, it does it well. So um, I've got a flight plan. It's going to be a short flight, at least if I only stick with one. I'm thinking about continuing on to Jacksonville afterwards. Um, Here's the flight. One thing about this airplane that I'm hoping that they will uh, do in the future is to re-add the weather radar back to it. In Prepared, they do have weather radar in it. Um, well, do they? Well, they do have weather radar in their Avidyne in other airplanes and X-Plane, but they've upgraded the Avidyne to now show terrain, but in the process they uh, didn't implement the weather radar. So that would be a huge win for this airplane and for others that are also going to use the Avidyne. It's nice to see them working on that Avidyne and making it more feature complete. Here's a flight plan. It's uh, missing this rain here, and there's another storm up here. So we're just going to sneak into St. Petersburg. Hopefully this rain won't bother us too much. I'm using Active Sky for weather, and there's our flight plan on SimBrief. They don't have a profile for this airplane on SimBrief, so I just use the King Air B200, and so the numbers are going to be a little bit off. The speeds aren't that far off. The fuel is close enough. This airplane burns, I think, 600. If I go back here, it burns. I know I put it on here. Cruise fuel, 620 pounds per hour. So when you're calculating your fuel, this is a 45-minute flight. So that would, tell me to expect to use 620 pounds. Well, less than that, but then there's also the climb and all that. So the fuel for the trip in a King Air is 435, which is probably not that awful far off. It's a bigger airplane, so I would expect it to require more. And there's our flight plan right there. So we'll get things going. Flight plan's filed. We've looked at the weather, and the wind is calm. What is the altimeter here? It is 3005. Fuel, I've got actually over 1,500 gallons or 1,500 pounds, so I should be good. More than the flight plan called for. Parking brake is set. Well, while I'm just sitting here, I'll just go ahead and get some of the things about the airplane that I think could use some work. These switches, these two switches here for engine run-up test don't work. There's no sound for the parking brake at all. These are the bus switches, the generator bus switches, and there's no sound, and they don't seem to work at all either. But, oh, actually, it's clicking today. Huh. Okay, good. This one here doesn't make any sound, and nor does this one. They call this, one of these two, the inverter. Neither one of them does anything. It's just always on, but I don't know how important that is really. It would be nice to see. And yeah, there's the right generator bus. Let's see. So where was I? Parking brake is set here. Flags and wheel chocks. Need to get those things removed. Static elements gone. Yep. Okay, passenger briefing. Well, technically there's another guy sitting over there in my weight and balance sheet, but I'll just assume he knows what we're doing. Okay, electrical equipment is off. There's really just not a lot of it. Everything is automatically on like this. Avionics switch is off. Battery is on. Cockpit lights, well, we're looking at them. Fuel quantity, it's right here. And it's checked. Okay, so the nav lights are on. Flaps are up. The clock. It was off an hour the other day. Let's see what it is today. It says 8:29 here, and I'm in the same time zone. And it is 6:29. So let's set that. Kind of jumps. See, about 5 minutes or so. Close enough. It's an old airplane. We can all look at our iPhones. GPU. Oh, you know, I wanted to. It's funny. You change that, it changed what it looks like outside. I'm going to take off in the morning. That's why this thing is off. How crazy is that? Change this and it changes what it looks like outside. I wanted to take off in the morning and let it get brighter. It's pretty. Is that last one? Okay, I'm not even sure you can use a GPU with this. Okay, power levers are idle, props full forward, condition levers are stop. And that's an oddity of this airplane is these condition levers start at, they have stop and they have run, and that's it. There's none of this. I don't know. I guess they did it like this for whatever reason, and this is Piper. Most of them, if you pull these back, the airplane will idle down. Not this one. That's the real airplane. Coronado did that right. So, um, okay. No animated people walking outside, which sometimes happens. My battery's a little low actually, but we'll try it anyway. That's because I've been sitting here yakking. Running my mouth. Fuel pump. Oh, actually, I'm going to start with the right engine. I'll just do that. Okay, so the fuel pump is on. Ignition's on, and you can hear it. And starter. And that's another thing. This thing has really good sounds. And you can have 2 seconds of ITT max of 1090 for 2 seconds. And then it'll settle down. Let's get that generator on while I got the chance. Charge up the battery some. Okay. Don't need the ignition anymore. And we'll run up to 60% RPR and 1. I don't know where the oil pressure light is, but the oil pressure gauge is right there and it's reading green. Okay, we'll shut that generator off at the second start. Fuel pump on, ignition on, starter engage. And 1 is above 10%. Both to 60. All right. Generator 1 and 2 on. There we go. So the amp gauges work. Volt gauge works. That's good. By the way, this is the prop amps gauge here, and if you turn on engine anti-ice, just do it on that one engine, it works as well. Before taxi, ice protection is really not required. We're in Florida, it's the middle of the summer. Inverters are on. There, it's on. Gyros, no flags. That's a nav flag there. and it's okay. So the altimeter was 3005. Avionics on. We have DME up here. This is the altitude preset. We're going to flight level 200 today. We'll, let's see, we're taking off on the T-Bird 2. Come on. Let's have a look at the T-Bird 2. Another thing I wish this thing would have is full integration with Avatab. They really need to start doing that with their airplanes. T-Bird 2 has... We're going to be taking off runway 10 left, climb heading 099 to 520 feet, then direct Carmen, then via expected route to Diaper. Alright. And that's... Okay, so we take off here to go to Carmen. And then out here. There's no altitude restrictions at all. And is there any guidance on altitudes whatsoever? No, there isn't. So we'll just assume 4,000. So we'll set this to 4,000. I wish this click spot was easier to get. This airplane will climb. So I'm going to set that to 2,000 for initial climb. So I've set my altitude. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that either. Click spots really need some work here. Okay. I think you can, yeah, I've got this set to come up here. They've got pop-ups for this and for the autopilot too. There's the autopilot, which is handy since it's down here. Blame Piper for that. And it's got this extra switch here which you don't use. But this is the what you do is you set both. You set the altitude and then you set the VS and then you click the arm and it just does it. It engages automatically. It stops at the right altitude. It does everything that you would expect a altitude alerter like this one to do. Let's see, so altimeter set, avionics are on, radios. Oh, ground control frequency is 121.6. Honestly, I don't expect anybody to sit here and watch all this. This stuff, that's XATC chatter right there. Might turn that down a little bit.
We already have it. We got a message. Can you all call on a participant? I don't know why. What is that 98?
In the absence of ATC and on a long flight, it's nice to have that. Nice little add-on. So anyway, I was saying, some of this stuff I'm just setting it up, so feel free to skip ahead. Let's see. So flight plan. Come on. Okay, so we're starting in Palm Beach. Plan up, and we're going to go to sheds. that zoom, I despise it.
Jet 43. Lima Echo, Golf, Tango. Jet 43. The Papa Lima Yankee Echo Romeo.
Alright.
Direct Kilo, November, Oscar, Sierra Tango.
And then the Deke.
Mike 15. The Papa India Sierra Alpha Delta. Uniform Mike 15. The November Uniform Delta India Sierra. Uniform Tango 43. The Lima Echo Romeo.
This airplane is compatible with the
Direct
GTN 750.
Sierra Echo Victor.
I don't know. I don't mind this thing. I like, you know, I can't, you know, it doesn't use airways. It's point to point, but 750, I just don't want to deal with the nav data issues. If they could solve that, that would be great. And I've had them. I've got, you know, but I just, this is nice. Good enough for what we're doing. And click there. Well, I need to, that's good enough. Alright, so proc. Oops. Back. That's the one. And 10 left. And we are going to sheds. So there's our flight plan. And I want to do the ILS at the other end, so let's see. I believe the wind is a little bit squirrely. Nothing bad. Oh, it's flipped around. It's so we'll do the ILS to 18. At least that's the plan. Unless it flips around again. It was out of the northeast. Let's see. So, rock. ILS 18. What do we want to do there? Maybe I'll just vector myself. Alright, load that. Okay. So that wasn't too bad. GNS 430 is set up. I hardly ever click these things, I swear to God. Oh, in fact, I can't. I didn't put the data refs in, so it doesn't really matter. GPS nav switch is set to nav. We'll set it to GPS. It's here and over here. Pressurization. Need to set 20,000 plus 500. So that's set. Autopilot test. Set and disconnect. That's about all you can do in this sim. Trim. Oops. I typically set it just a little bit above neutral. Just a bit. We'll do a no flaps takeoff today as well. This is set to 099 from my arrival. So runway heading is set, and you can activate it. I typically don't, but it doesn't hurt to do it. And to set the altitude. So that's now set. So your enunciators have the flight director on, heading selected, the altitude is armed. So when you engage autopilot, it'll do all three. Uh, Runway heading, first altitude is set, vertical speed is set, and activated. Transponder, I always fly at 2000 unless assigned something else. Is on standby. Chronometer is, let's see, start. Well, there's the clock. It's running. Okay, so let's see. So let's go ahead and plug in the tower frequency. Control Palm Beach Tower is 119.1. That's set, and departure is 128.3. And I usually put that down here for safekeeping. Okay. So there's a couple things you do. You taxi light on. Taxi light on, brakes are off. And then you reverse the prop. Just to verify your beta's working. With this airplane, you have to add some power to it to get it rolling. And then you can use the standard beta if you need it. But I usually have to taxi right about 10 to 12 torque. And that was the taxiway I wanted back there. There's this short little runway. I'm going to turn around here actually. Said you gotta hold this up around 10 or 12. Where's that? I'll just go down to the end. Where's the yellow line? So we've reversed the props. The flight instruments are turning as they should. And then you're supposed to, whoa, you're supposed to pay attention. Very odd place. I've only been here like once or twice. So yes, I'm a little lost. Okay, so the power levers to idle, and then we feather the props. And yes, does that. Just verifies that the governors are working, I guess. Come on, let's go. So yeah, most turboprops I expect to, you take the brakes off and it just goes, it takes off, and that you're using beta mode or the brakes, or you're using the condition limiters to keep your speed under control, and that's not this airplane. It's a 1980s model airplane. I don't know really what differences are. Maybe it's got a little bit too much ground friction. But again, all of the issues that this airplane has, whatever they are on the ground. Hold on just a moment. Okay. One of the great and lousy things about simming is that if you have a dog and they went in, you can let them in. And I have two. Second here. Yeah, I want to turn right here. I'm about to go off into a closed taxiway. Can I pay attention? Can I read a map? Good morning. I've got no traffic on. Taxiways don't exactly line up here either. Not only am I not reading the maps are wrong, so that's okay. This is actually Naps Airport. It's well done. It's on the org store. Not the store, it's one of the free file downloads. And he has done a lot of airports. Why are we not moving? This seemed to have run into something. Yep. That's weird. It's like sand. Stop. Okay, we'll take it. Something weird about it. I was just saying it's a nice airport. It's got a quirk. Okay. So brakes are on. Both generators are on. Fuel pumps are on. Prop sync is down here. It's off. Power lever is set 1625, which I just already did that. Everything is green. Actually, I don't know where to check the suction. Maybe, what is that? Oxygen supply, that's not it. It's usually where I expect it to be. There's no lights on. Pneumatic pressure. But is there a suction gauge on this thing? I don't know. We're set 1800. All the instruments are still green. Don't need any ice protection, but pitot heat. We'll go back to idle. Okay. Alerting system is off. Flight instruments. Check, they look good. Engine gauges look good. Warning lights, check. Radios and autopilot are set. We'll flip to tower frequency and put departure frequency. There. Prop sync is off. Static source doesn't work. Props are pulled forward. Trim is verified. Flaps check. Flight controls free and correct. Fuel is checked. And then we would call tower and ask for clearance, and they say absolutely. Okay, so the standard takeoff stuff. Lights. Icing. Flaps are set. Transponder out. And parking brake is off. So this is where the good stuff happens. Clouds are in my frames pretty good. Well, I'm doing about 30 frames. That's not too bad. I've got a 1070 card. There's a couple things I really like about Coronado planes. One is they're generally light on frames. The other one is if you want to take them out on a 10-mile final and do some practicing, ILSs or whatever, they can handle it. Engine instruments look good. Knots. Just follow the flight director to 500 feet. Gear up. Here we're climbing at 2,000 feet per minute and still accelerating. Okay. Press nav. Still flying by hand. We're doing 180 knots, climbing at 2,500 feet per minute. Damper's on. Prop stick is on. And we'll making another turn. We'll go on up to flight level 200. That we'll get down to about 180. We can select IAS mode. There we go. That's that. Let's see, so power levers, go back up, torque and ITT within limits, cruise RPM, our climb RPM is 2,000. Another oddity with the plane, climbing with reduced prop. Yaw damper is on, prop sync is on, landing light switch, we can turn it off. And let's make sure pressurization is working. that's better. Nice to be above the clouds. Oh, 6.4. All these buttons work. RMI works when St. Petersburg VOR comes into range. We'll see the RMI needle swing on nav to re-needle. Got a radar altimeter set up for 210. Minimum is 207. Just approach altitude is 1700 feet. ITT at 700. I just have a sense myself that, like I said, there's Coronado makes so many planes, it's hard to know which ones are good, which ones, you know, which ones are going to have problems. I've got the, you know, I've had my problems with quite a few Coronado planes. Many of them have been put away in the hangar, forgotten about. I probably have 15, 20 of them, and you hope for one that will really stand out. And occasionally you get one, like the 337. I like the PA46 after I changed the sounds in it. That was a really nice airplane. High-flying airplane, pressurized, fast, single engine piston, but just well equipped and just had a very sleek looking. And the flight model on that one was terrific as well. So, you know, I don't know if I went through their page to look at all the ones that I've hangared, it would be a long list. Some of which were still okay. I just got bored with them, like the C-210, the Cessna 210. It was a really good airplane once I made some adjustments to it. This one I haven't had to make any adjustments to whatsoever. Like I said, once it's in the air, it's just beautiful. So we got let's see, I'll set my DME to 2. I need to start descending 60 miles out. I'm at 20,000 feet. Actually, a little less than 60 miles out. The approach starts at, looks like 1,700 feet. I'll probably, yeah, about 1,700 feet out here somewhere. Just back of the envelope, I'm going to be descending 20,000 feet. So 20 times 3 is 60, so 60 miles out. So maybe about 55 miles out. There the VORs come in. That's where it is. I can hear the ID. And there's the distance, 131.9 miles. So I've got about 60 miles to go before I even think about descending. No VNAV, you gotta do it the old way. And I've also been looking at the POH of this airplane, looking at the climb rates at different altitudes. It looks like it's okay. I need to study it some more. But there is a POH available, and there's other resources for learning how to fly, not just turboprops and this airplane. Like I said, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos to find out what numbers the pilots were using, what torque numbers in particular the pilots were using when they were coming into an airport. And we'll use 42, just like they did. Wish they'd move this cord. But our pressurization looks okay. You do see these flying on FlightAware, different places, up in Canada, and all around. There's not a lot of them, but you still see them. check the weather again. 3003. And this will be our final, right along the edge of that. And there's the nasty looking little cell. I do a lot of flying in Florida. Something I highly recommend someone do is pick an area of the country and just fly there for a while. You can work on the scenery. So many things to practice. When I used to fly real world, I used to fly Cessnas and Pipers. And there was plenty to do in just that little area around New Jersey. Fly over to Pennsylvania. You know, down south to Cape May, up the coast. Just fly. Fuel flow right now is 2,500 at the climb. No, a little bit higher on the right engine. There it is. Okay, so that should be about the right pounds per hour. So our torque is set. ITT is at the end of the green line. Our props are at 1800, bottom of the green line. And one is down a little bit. Fuel flow is 2,000 pounds per hour. Or 200 pounds per hour per engine. Pressure looks good. All pressure looks good. And I can preset this. We'll go down to 2,000 feet. And since our airspeed is 250, multiply that times 5, that means we need to go down about 12 to 1,300 feet per minute. yeah, this airplane sits around 250 knots. It's not as fast as a TBM or a VE1000. Not as fuel efficient either, but it's got two big honkin' turboprops for when you're flying over water. So if you want to fly out to Bermuda and not have to worry about necessarily bringing a life raft with you, this is a good airplane. You know, and I've got the what is it, the new King Air 350, and this airplane just seems to have a lot more life to it. You know, it feels right. It feels like you're flying it. And it may feel like you're flying a King Air 350, but I find King Airs in general boring. Maybe not the 90 so much, but the 200. I used to love the looks of them, but to fly them is just boring. Maybe that 350 will grow on me. I kind of hope so. Pay $50 for it. But as a family plane, you know, which is what this is. Now here's the cabin. Of course that comes out. They always do. You know, and it's got lighting back here. These lights come on and they move. Can't close the curtains. That'd be a DME 1 and 2 appear. And terrain. DME here for as well for Net 1. I don't know what this is. It works. I've seen it work, but right now it's not. Power, cruise RPM, pressurization, all checks. Lighted icing conditions could happen. 83 miles to go. Getting close. I have to say, I do like some of the features of that King Air, though. Um, the way you can do the walk around. The rain effects. They put a lot into that airplane. A whole lot. Maybe it'll grow on me. I hope so. What the heck? Okay, I've got enough of that. Too much fun with the dome light. Pretty sky. So 176 is the course. The ILS. Model approach fixes Kabak, which we will cross at 1460. That's an outer marker. Feels like a Florida morning. And that weather there looks very much like for live weather. There is a cell on the live weather right near here. We're going to go right by it in the real world. It's actually probably over here somewhere, but it's going to be close. That's where you need a weather radar, because the you can't see them that well in the sim. Okay, so that's 57 miles, so arm that, pull the power back. And set. Pressure station is set. Power is set. Crossing 18,000 set the altimeter, which we can go ahead and do, which is 3003. My mom lived in St. Pete, so I like to fly in there. Clouds get like this, it's just so pretty. Multiple layers. Hello. That's one thing I wish. I'd love to get some different lightning sounds. Some of them sound like the Addams Family. Coming right past that storm. Maybe it actually should be behind us. That's fairly close. Yeah. Terrain effects, I think, need some work. See that? Is that ice? Fix that crap. Nice. Holy cow. What do we got here? We're not to 0 degrees yet. Not a good situation. Oh yeah. No. Now upside down. Oh, cool. Now we're facing east. It's not good. Well. Goes to show that sometimes icing equipment by itself doesn't save you. Where are we? Facing south. That was interesting. I've never seen icing that bad before. Come on now. This goes to show weather radar. Yep, we flew right into a great big cell. Say with these cruisers, you need something. You need an X-Rad, something like that. That was wild. Tampa would be landing south. Probably. Wind is calm in St. Pete right now. Switch to the ILS 36. Tampa Bay. 7. Swap that. ICWT. Yes. 16.4 is set. Course heading is 356. Approach altitude is, we're at the intercept altitude. Approach altitude is also 2,000 feet. Pressurization's okay. Landing light on. 50% torque. Thereabouts. Altimeter is set. Just check that. Yep. Weather is checked. Landing briefing is complete. Pressurization is set. Prop sync is off. Flaps below 174 and 142. Gear below 156. Flaps 1. Let's go heading. Heading mode. Okay, 2,000 feet. 356. Hold on. And we'll looks okay. What? Yeah. I mean, look at that. Yeah, it looks okay. flaps. That should bring us down to about 100. And then as we flare, we slowly ease back to the tower, keeping about 10% in. All right, airplane. Very easy to land. Oh, we'll see. Very easy down the approach. Once you set 42% power, that's not much fussing around with it. There's some power, yeah. Nice. Flaps up. Lights off. Still need that. Transponder to standby. Frame rate is for crap right now. It says it's 30. I think I'm going to do a couple more of these. Not real good at streaming. I can use some practice. Hope I can find a parking place. Should shut off the pitos too. Oh, here we go. flaps are up, landing light is off, strobes are off, taxi lights on, transponders on standby, parking brake is set, avionics switch is off, taxi light is off, electrical equipment is off. Like I said, they don't work. Off. Well, maybe they did. Something's off. Hold on. They must be hooked up to avionics. Inverter's off. Battery charge check. ITT below 610. For a minute. And power lever's off. Props feather. Ice protection is off. Generators are off. I think those should go off before I shut the engines down.
Compass 6042 RNAV Delray, wind calm, runway 24 left,
Stop.
clear
Oh,
for takeoff.
I did it the wrong order.
Delray, clear for takeoff, 24 left, compass 642.
Pumps off. Nav lights off. Beacon off. Nav lights off. And battery off. And let's get the door open.
Boutique 341 tower following a 737 on a 2-mile final. Caution, wake turbulence. Traffic will also hold in position right 24 left for the land. 24 left for the land. 341.
Another thing I'd like to see is a click spot out here, like right there where you could open that door.
I'm going for 3399.
I think there's one on the inside. So, it's nice. This is a nice airport if you don't have it. St. Pete. I think the frame rates were bad because it's just the clouds and also streaming. But
Flight 1989, pushing Cheyenne.
that's nice.
1989, Los Angeles, wind calm, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left to land, Flight 1989.
Tower Southwest 1066 with you on the visual.
Still getting stutters.
1066, Los Angeles,
Anyway.
wind calm, runway 26 left, clear to land.
Alright, I might do another one. Not sure if I'll keep this one or not. Call it an amateur video. It's a good airplane. Flies well. I mean, if you take control in the ILS way out, further out, it handles really nice. It isn't just that it's easy, it's just it handles really nice. Feels like I would expect a Piper to land. Well, maybe that's what it reminds me of because I used to fly Pipers, but they're all pistons. Anyway, have a good one out there.